Smart 24, driving business.
Hi there, a very good morning and welcome to SmartMin's Business Amanchu Bariji. Today is the 10th, that is of July, and it's a Monday. It's quite a fresh week, and definitely I'd love to welcome you all the way from the weekend. How has it been? I hope you had really a very incredible one, and well, it's quite upset for any of those that could have encountered misfortunes as a result of any related disaster of that. But anyway, let's always keep positive and definitely knowing that everything will actually be okay. Above all, hope you've been really taking some good time enough to prepare for this coming week. Of course, there is a way the days are running so fast that is quite really very crazy. And you know, when it comes to that person that is running a business, you can really relate to what I'm talking about, most especially when you have these bills that are pending, you have to pay this rent, you're thinking about this, you know, and all that. And it all runs in a way that is quite very interesting and very amazing. But anyway, despite the fact, the bigger picture in here is that you have to prepare yourself and, you know, you make sure that you can actually counteract some of those possible aspects which might actually hinder your profitability as a business person. Well, quite lots of conversations that are coming up on the show, and I believe that are going to be quite very insightful when it comes to understanding how you should actually operate, you know. But even away from just operating a business, we all pursuing careers. It's quite important. It matters how you pursue that career because that career in itself, it's a business because of the service that you give out there, and there is exchange for some value in terms of money just because of the service that you give in there. But before we proceed, don't forget it's another week and the markets on the Zabo platform are back. Now, for you to be a part of this, it's quite very simple. Dial *292#, which is the USSD code that will enable you with options where you will be in position to buy government bonds and securities for just 15,000 you get in shillings. Now, the markets will be opening at 8:15, running all the way. That is 8:15 to 3:15 p.m. Yes, East African time, and this is running up to Friday. Yes. Now, apart from the weekends and the public holiday, which where the markets don't really operate, but this week I don't think we have a public holiday. We don't have a public holiday, so we are running the markets all the way. So Zabo made this a reality. There is no paperwork. All you need is *292#, and the rest will definitely kick off automatically the way they ought to. Now, Zabo says, "My money, my future," and the Alt East Africa tells us, "Do something new for yourself." It's the year 2023. Well, just a brief here in the morning call, probably we shall be taking a look at that later on, the aspect of why Ugandans are shifting away, that is from banking holds, you know, ever since this whole new technology that evolved over the time. And lately, most of these different banks have actually developed applications whereby you can transfer the money from your application and take it back, that is to your mobile, you know, money to your, you know, any line. You could put it on your MTN, you withdraw it there, and you definitely keep on moving on that way, and you don't find it necessary for you to actually head to the banking hall. I mean, the agent's banking system, which is also in there, that is enabling, of course, people not really have to make those match lines. Of course, with the developments in technology, this is always anticipated, you know, whereby, I mean, there is always need to reduce on the congestion all over the entire area. Well, that is it for the morning call. You can think about that. You know, are you still heading to the bank hall, or you decided to be depositing and withdrawing your money in quite else some other way? Well, right about now, let's switch over and take a look at what's making headlines into the press. With me, I have the East African, which of course it comes out We review it every Monday. I have the Daily Monitor here with me and also the New Vision. But of course, heading to the top pages of both newspapers, I can see land bonanza as government bewigs share forest. I'm seeing something here that beneficiaries include minister, judges, and members of parliament. Yes, that is on the top page of the New Vision. That is bringing out that particular aspect. Okay, now still I see when it comes to performance of the different districts, they show you the most improved and declined districts named, and yeah, you get yourself that. Then also panic as 81,000 LC's term expires. 81,000. Now the term of office for over 8,000 local council leaders will expire today, but government has no money to organize fresh elections. So you get that when you get yourself a copy of the New Vision. You'll be finding out further details. Now, taking a look at the Daily Monitor here, we see fight erupts over industrial parks. Of course, talking about the business for developing Kasese Industrial Park. That State Investment Minister, that is Evelyn Anite, in a U-turn wants to Lagan the group that was, once for Lagan group was given by President Museveni to the certain group known as AKCA group in 2014 as compensation for Entebbe upgrade works. That is with bureaucrats. So there are some sorts of conflicts amidst the industrial park in Kasese, which Evelyn Anite, State Minister for Investment, had actually given in there to some group as a means of compensation. But definitely, to get further details of that, you'll have to grab yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor and get to observe what really, how is it like in there. Okay, and now still here in the East African, I can see 5 things in a way of candidate Shekedi. And of course, talking about a leaping economy, skilled mining contracts, Kagame and war in the East are among the issues, of course, making the RSC leader lose sleep as he gears up for elections in December 20th. Shekedi, of course, that is the current president of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Of course, why don't I start with the East African itself as we take a look at what is happening. Now, East Africa weathers a storm to record growth in, of course, taking a look at in FDI. Of course, we can see that investments from foreigners into East Africa rose, that is from $4.9 billion in 2021 to $5.8 billion last year. Of course, we see that the foreign direct investment is really is increasing. I mean, foreigners investing into the country of East Africa. But you can grab yourself this copy and get further details of this particular aspect, foreign direct investments. Now, Uganda seeks new investors for its $4 billion refinery project. Of course, Uganda is seeking new investors for this project after failed attempts with the Russian, South Korean, and now US Italian private companies. That is to raise the critical portion of the required financing. So you'll find out that here when you get yourself a copy of the East African. And now I can do something here about inside the European Union battle for resource-rich Eastern Africa. Of course, Europe denies competing with China for influence on continent, but its priority sectors were formerly dominated, that is by China, and even some of its chosen delivery openly mirrors existing, of course, in the Chinese model. Yeah, the battle talking about Eastern Africa, rich Africa that has quite lots of minerals in there, and we can see whether the West and in some sort of a conflict with the East to see who really exploits further that. Okay, now coming back to the Daily Monitor, as we take a look, of course, we saw the bitter fight erupting over the industrial parks in Kasese. Now, of course, we see here something to do in the national news, suspension of night gatherings in Chegwegwa. Of course, all these are related to security, something very key. And we see here that residents, investor face off over that is an eviction. And now these are residents in Kazinga village in Nachifuma town council that of course facing off over an eviction in there. So you'll get yourself this copy and find out further. Then the UNBS on spot over alleged 20 billion fraud. 20 billion Ugandan shillings fraud. Okay, you'll get further more of that when you get yourself a copy of this. And I can see Shabazinga hails government for supporting private schools. Yes, government supporting private schools. It's being hailed for that. And of course, quite more. Maybe I can say something here to do with the farmers, as farmers accused Nandala-led BCU for stifling that is coffee farming. Okay, you get further or more of the details of that report. And when you get yourself, when you grab yourself a copy, that is of the Daily Monitor. Okay. Away from that, now I briefly switch over to the New Vision as we take a look at what's really making headlines in here. We saw the aspect of land bonanza, of course, government building. That is the share forest. Of course, you'll find out more details when you get yourself that copy. Now, UNEB to store marked scripts. The Uganda National Examinations Board has acquired new technology which will digitally store all answer scripts, which were digital, for all the candidates from all sections. It could be A-level. Yes, so you'll be in position to actually take that out. Well, now switching our eyes to the traffic as we take a look at the situation right there. The images that you're looking at there coming in from of course, talking about the Ginger Road, where Ginger Road links up with Kampala Road, of course, opposite the Access Road. As we can see, the jam is really so heavy, actually. Taking a look at the different areas, actually. Now, you can see Access Road roundabout, talking about people that come from 6th Street, 7th Street, and 8th. You're coming towards town. It's going to be a little bit very hard for you actually reaching time. It's really so heavy according to the look of things here, and I believe even the clock tower must be quite another congested area as we speak right now, because for the people that stay in Chiboli, that would be a good alternative for you, as as you can really wake up in the morning to plan out your day and see how best you can actually reach out to the places that you ought to reach out. But the situation there, it's pretty much more congested there and tricky. So you must be really thoughtful as you're coming. Access Road, as we see, and remember that their route is also accompanied with a number of potholes there, and so that kind of contributes to the traffic congestion in that very area. According to the look of things, yes, so you can see the vehicles, despite being released, but there is quite a number of them, because those places are quite so congested in terms of people that stay there, because still some people that come from areas like Kabalaga still are using that route. Kansanga, the branch of that route, to head to the different destinations. So that speaks out what is happening. And, accompanied with also the schools that resumed, it's really a lot, because you find that some of the routes actually, there are officers, there are people that, they are guides actually, not officers really as such, but there are these guides that stop vehicles and let the school children cross over, most especially those that are for pre-primary schools. So that actually really explains why we see quite a huge congestion. Now, of course, switching our eyes to take a look at the Port Bell Road. Okay, it's not necessarily Port Bell Road, but of course, where Port Bell Road links up with Ginger Road, heading to Kampala, and also because we see that route harbors vehicles coming in from Nakawa, coming in from Chireka, Boyogere, Banda, together with those that are coming in from the old Port Bell Road. I mean, talking about the vehicles coming in from Lusira, Chitintale, and Bugolobi, and so many other places that are onto that route. So when they all get to link up in the corner there, it makes it quite, very, very, very congestive. So it becomes a little bit tricky for the people that are coming in from those areas, and you're probably heading to other different destinations. It's very, very heavy. You're coming in from Nakawa, you're heading to town. You're coming in from Ugolobi, you're heading to town. Right now, it's quite very, very impossible for you to reach at that required time. And actually, the farther the time resumes, the more the jam gets in, most especially on a Monday like this. Despite the fact that you're setting off right now, it is okay. You can still set off, but of course, better late than never. That's what I can tell you. Regardless, you'll reach late unless you grab a border probably. Yeah, it could be there. But anyway, if you're so sure of your finances and how you plan, well, you'll have to be patient a little bit. Now, of course, you can see another route for the people that, if you're not really willing to wait, most especially if you're coming in from Kampala heading to Jinja to Nakawa, and you don't want to wait over the traffic lights there, you can choose to use the Nile Avenue route and link up at Garden City, and then you can proceed to head to the different destinations. And this is commonly done by the people that are heading to Nakawa and Tinda, people there that normally take such routes. But of course, even some of those are coming in from Wandegea. They pass via the golf course connected to Fairway Hotel and came this side. Yeah, so you can really see, and I'm seeing quite lots of the vehicles coming in. There are quite a number of them. Definitely, some of them must have linked up to the Mulago roundabout, which I strongly believe is also congested as right now for the people that are heading towards that. Now, finally, we switch our eyes to the vehicles coming in from Kampala and heading towards Nakawa, Ntinda, and probably from Kampala Road, linking up to Jinja Road. You can see. Of course, there is not normally always a huge line of them, but they are held in jam for quite long. So you can choose to use the Nile Avenue route and proceed. That is it for our traffic updates this morning. It's 27 minutes past 7, and that is how the situation is like. That is on the Jinja Road. But of course, before we get into the break, don't forget the markets on the Zabo platform will be opening any time from now. Now, for you to be a part of this, it's quite very simple. Dial *292#, which is the USSD code, which will avail with options where you'll be able to buy these bonds and securities for just 15,000 Ugandan shillings. Now, the markets will be opening at 8:15 a.m., running all the way to 3:15 p.m. East African time, and this is running up to Friday. Apart from the weekends and the public holidays when these markets don't operate, but this week the rest on public holidays, so we are running up to Friday full time, and definitely we shall be able to trade bonds and securities. There is no paperwork involved. Actually, that's the interesting bit about this. All you need is to just get your mobile phone, whether it's a button phone, whether it's a smartphone, and just dial *292#. And when you're given that chance to buy these bond securities. Now, Zabu says, my money, my future. And Dalton says, South Africa says, do something new for yourself. It's 2023. Now, let's get into the break. When I return, we shall be taking a look at what's happening on the East African community and the international community, and of course, speaking business. Good morning.